This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. Hello and welcome once again, dear listeners, to Super Connectivity. I'm your host, Charlie the Professor Esser. And with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burg of Pitts.
Phil me and Perich.
That's his name. Good old Agent Phil me and Perich. Okay, not a lot of news in the comic books world today. I mean, because it's like, even Marvel said, we'll put out some digital books, and then DC's like, we don't know what we're doing. And it's like, oh, okay, thanks for playing DC. But what we do still have is television. Television. The last glowing ember of comic book culture. Did you see the most recent Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Philip?
Yes, I did. I loved it.
It was a delightful conceit. I will give it that much. I liked, it was a nice way to play on the characters and the times and, the idea of essentially it's being watched through a malfunction in Robot Phil's brain. Which, like I said, it's a fun idea. It's a fun way to describe it and explore it. Yes, it says, and basically what I love about it is that it tells it up front what's going on, says, and suddenly it was like the color saturated out of the air and my thoughts were pinging around in my head, like, and you hear him say that, but you don't realize, he's describing the malfunction he's in the middle of, where everything's in black and white and he has this constant narration in his head, which I thought that was a delightful touch. I like the fact that now, I had a feeling we were going to be bringing Agent Sousa into the show.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling they were going to do that, but I still like the ending.
The ending was excellent. Although, actually, and this was one of the things I was this was one of these questions I wasn't sure of. Because, of course, we have the Chronotons sit with Phil in one scene. Meanwhile, we have Enoch being the Marvin of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. universe.
I'll put you through. I'll patch you through.
Exactly. And what was sad is, like, even when Deke talked to him, and Deke actually sounds like he was excited to talk to him. Deke really, and he's like, don't even want it. Don't even want it. Let me put you through. Tristan says hi.
Hello.
And I just felt bad about that. And honestly, I was getting worried. They were going to have Enoch. So my thoughts on Enoch this whole episode deal with a lot of different things. One of which is, and this I think is the most important thing, Enoch is an anthropologist droid. He knows literally everything that has ever happened on the planet Earth. Which means he can pull threads just as easily as the bad guy, Chronotons, can. And I was waiting for, like, I'm still waiting that guy that he's talking to at the bar the whole time, that guy's actually super important in S.H.I.E.L.D.
I was waiting for him to be someone, yeah.
Well, you don't even have to say he's someone right now, but it's just the idea that, it's the idea that, those desk jockeys, those paper pushers, those guys are actually super important. Because those are the guys that make sure that, like, that file gets on Nick Fury's desk to let him know, oh, hey, just so you know, this is something landed in New Mexico last week. And that's the thing is, like, things, as Phil Coulson said last episode, it's okay. We're just above Groom Lake. I'm sure this stuff happens all the time.
Oh, that'd be awesome if Enoch brought all that to Fury's and Phil's attention. Back in the day, it's like, oh yeah, you might want to check and see what Stark's building in his basement, in his garage,
or even assigns a young Phil Coulson to work with this this Nick Fury guy.
Yes,
when they're sent on that random call about a break-in at Blockbuster Video.
No.
Because, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I get the feeling Enoch's going to get left behind again. I think that idea that Enoch's going to be that guy that's basically keeping everything on track whenever everyone else jumps out. And that'll be kind of sort of the irony of it. It's like, well, actually, I figured quite quickly that they would continue to try to pull things, and on the off chance you wouldn't be able to catch them, I should make sure that things stayed on track as I knew they should. Perhaps even contacting himself to let himself know what's going on, because he's a time travel duplicate, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that'd make him kind of a jerk if he didn't tell Fury, yeah, don't pick up that cat.
It's an important part of the story.
I guess. But all right. I mean,
how else is he going to learn not to trust everyone?
True.
That's the thing, because it's like, he looks all cute and cuddly, and he's a little cat, and he's on your side. Don't trust him. He's a flirkin.
Anyway,
you think the Skrulls were afraid of the flirkin just because it was a flirkin? Yeah, It taught Fury not to be haughty and not to have a humanoid view of the universe. That just because something seems logical to you, that it actually has that something that seems innocuous to you, that something else is afraid of, maybe you should be more afraid of it than you are.
You know what? He does have to have that eye happen though, because remember in Winter Soldier when Pierce erases his good eye retina scan, and he's like, you want to stay a step ahead of me, you got to keep both eyes on,
Oh, well, and there you go. See,
Mm-hmm.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense, because of course what you have to do is you have to essentially, and it's fun that ancient aliens actually were manipulating everybody from the beginning of it. But when you think about it, if and especially if you want to go back to, they ever do reveal the ancient shield, the original Order of the Shield, and that basically, yes, actually Enoch was there for that founding too. He's been on this planet for literally thousands of years. Just observing and making note. And that is what Enoch does. It's pretty impressive. And now we see when they get to the 70s next episode, and that was the thing that they would do the reveal. And I'm thinking just either to make us not worry about Enoch, to say, don't worry, they're not going to approach Enoch.
Yeah.
Or to maybe misdirect us, like, no, Enoch totally turns traitor. Ha ha ha.
What did you see the preview?
Yeah, I saw the preview. Because he drives up and he says, "Get in the car if you want to continue to exist."
Yes.
Which is great, but that's the thing. So that tells us, okay, so if we take it at face value, then no, Enoch does not get approached by the chronatoms, and does not betray the agents. But if he were to betray them, that's a pretty good cover. I've actually been sabotaging it the entire time. And of course, it's that interesting point that, as we see at the end of this last episode, one of the Hunter Chronotons also stays behind to assist Hydra, because it is essentially this weird little chess match. Because obviously, if Hydra takes over, then likewise S.H.I.E.L.D. does get destroyed. But without the constant back and forth, without the arms race between them, they won't be able to build themselves up to be a threat to the Chronicoms. So it's a unique and interesting storyline. It's really, I love what they're painting here. I love that they have this new kind of time travel that's different than what we saw in Endgame, and that is giving us something unique to deal with in the Marvel universe. And
I mean, we have our new Captain America too, because I mean, spoilers: Sousa is now a man out of time.
mm-hmm. And actually, fun fact: I'm waiting to see what he says about the new leg.
Oh,
because they can give him a brand new bionic leg.
Yeah, because Yo-Yo has hands. Yeah,
they gave Yo-Yo her hands. They can give Sousa a new leg, and I could totally see Sousa being like, "Wait, you guys have legs like this?" It's like, why doesn't everybody have a leg like this? This is a great leg. I don't know. It's I certainly hope they don't have him not want to have the leg just because it's like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if I trust your newfangled, commie robot aliens from the future vibe here. But I do like that Sousa's there, and I wonder if there's going to be like, and that's like the big question as they're doing this time travel is, are they going to answer questions about Cap? Because they're basically dealing with the Cap question here, because of course the question with Cap was, how does Cap stay in the past and not fix all these problems? Now, how can Cap as a hero honestly want to do that? And I get the feeling, and we may, like, as I've said, it's kind of my theory that, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does go back, and he does, like I said, there's one of two options. One is that he frees himself from the ice and then goes back into the ice himself so that, the other Peggy, so that this Cap can live that life and he can be frozen in time. And that Cap doesn't have to worry about, what happens next,
Okay, here's a radical thought that just popped in my head. All right, Cap was taking all the stones back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there some way could he have planted something in his head with the Mind Stone and be like, when I get where I'm going, kind of like block out certain memories of what's to come?
Oh, rewrite his own mind? Well, I mean, arguably when he returned,
so he's like tempted to change stuff.
When he returns the Time Stone, obviously, first thing he can do is talk to the Ancient One about the concept.
Yeah.
And, that would be neat to see if they actually had like a whole scene with Cap and the Ancient One discussing what to do. But then again, Cap and the Red Skull is going to be an interesting scene too, and returning the Soul Stone.
Awkward.
Yeah, well,
Oh, that would be, that's it. What if the Ancient One's like, I know what you're going to do, and I can't let you, alter history by, living back then? He'd be like, well, and it's either her idea or his idea to like, kind of like give him like a partial mind wipe so he doesn't remember what's to come.
Well, no, I don't think, see, that's the thing. I don't think the Ancient One's going to care.
Even if he's going to like alter the timeline?
No, because that's just altering one timeline. I mean, that's the thing. He's going to a point in a past after that Ancient One's there. And he's not taking any stones out. So that Captain America is in the 50s or the 40s.
Yeah.
Makes no difference. Oh, here's a fun one for you. What if Cap rewrites his memory that he becomes William Burnside?
Oh,
it becomes the Captain America of the 1950s.
See, you know what I was going to say to you? I was going to be like, if they really, really wanted to deep dive in the continuity, what if Sousa stays behind in the 70s and becomes Red Brown Captain America?
Oh, well, there you go. Well, he's got a leg now. Oh, man, wouldn't that be kind of cool, actually. Sousa as Captain America in the 70s. Oh, man, you know what they could do? They could introduce Betsy Ross as Golden Girl.
There you go. Invaders. 70s Invaders.
There we go. Or, like an early version of, oh, man, we could get Marvel Boy. We
There you go.
could get some early Avengers going, man. What?
If Sousa does stay in the 70s, I mean, we pretty much know an episode of Loki is going to be in the 70s, right? Oh,
Well,
could we get Loki versus Sousa's 70s Avengers?
Oh man. No, you know what? Let me tell you something. What if? So maybe in next episode.
What if
we actually get a Loki cameo? That's when he gets arrested by the Time Variance Authority.
Oh.
There's so many great things to happen. You know, there are so many things that can open up in this. And that's the thing. I really feel like this is I mean, obviously no one knew that COVID was happening. No one knew what we were going to get here. Mm-hmm. But this was on a schedule. Mm. And I get the feeling we're going to get more as it goes. I mean, I always say that, and I'm always wrong. So take that for what it's worth. But I do feel like there is so many things they could explore here, you know? Mm-hmm. And you think about that idea. If you think about like the 50s Avengers, who was on the 50s Avengers? You had Venus and Marvel Boy and Gorilla Man and the robot, you know? And Jimmy Woo, who is in the future, but is under ABC television contracts too, that actor. And so, you know, is this Jimmy Woo Jr.? Is this, you know, we don't know yet. And who he's going to be is what he's going to be. And maybe, again, you know, got some Lazarus Pit and Infinity Formula stuff going on.
Because that was going to be my other question is, do you think Sousa is going to keep jumping with them to the present, or is he going to stay behind somewhere like the 70s or somewhere?
Well, that depends on his contract. I mean, honestly, I don't think he's going to mind having a paying gig for the next, 6 episodes. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's not a big commitment.
Yeah.
For the actor to say, you want to be on the last season of the show.
But I mean, unless they even have other plans too, it's like, if he does stay in the 70s, he could show up on Loki. What if he becomes part of or in charge of the Time Variance Authority?
Oh, here's one for you. They're going to the 70s, right? Mm-hmm. What if he becomes the Spirit of 76?
Oh, nice.
There we go. Give him that new robot leg. Have him become the Spirit of 76. What was it? That wasn't Mace. Was that Mace, or was that? Yeah, that was Mace, because the first one, the Patriot. I forget. No, was Mace? No, Mace was the Patriot. So it was Nosland. Nosland was. So if he's going to go from Sosa to Nosland. That would be cool. And he's now the Spirit of 76, and he's got his bulletproof cape.
Citizen V.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, if we do the Thunderbolts movie, after Sousa dies, that's what Zemo takes the inspiration for his Citizen V from, because he actually, he patterned it after like a World War II Citizen V.
Okay.
He steals it from Sosa. Oh,
there's lots of possibilities for what we can do here, and that's the exciting thing about a show that you can't binge.
Yes.
That's the joy of a show you can't binge, is everything is a possibility right now. So when we look at our time traveling Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and like I said, the fact that they don't time travel over these last 2 episodes is so telling. That we know that there are 2 Chronicoms left in the past now. One with Hydra, one with S.H.I.E.L.D. Each with an agenda, Because that's what I loved about that, was just the fact that, that Enoch knew that he was going to need a way to contact the Zephyr.
Yeah.
He knew they were going to go in there. And the idea that they all knew about the crazy canoe. And I wonder where the crazy canoe is. Though they said it was 3,000 miles away. So I'm guessing it was actually in Hawaii, not in New Jersey. Although you never know. It could have been in New Jersey. S.H.I.E.L.D. has a lot of New Jersey bases.
I mean, he had 20 years. He could be anywhere.
Yeah. But the idea, I can see the crazy canoe being in But I don't know. I mean, I guess the South Pacific is actually. I mean, it could be in Guam too. There's lots of places that could have been shield safe houses. Shield bars were a very interesting concept, and that they knew that, and that Phil knew that's where he would be, and briefed everyone. Well, most likely Enoch's going to be here. Which actually, what's great about that is it suggests that Phil knows that Enoch was going to stay behind.
Oh.
If you actually break this down, you realize that, wait, if he knew that Enoch was going to be there, that means that he knew there was a guy who helped Koenig in the early days of S.H.I.E.L.D., who was maybe a mysterious figure.
Oh.
Maybe he didn't know it was Enoch, but he's like, oh, you're that dude. Sort of like that whole Bell Riots thing from Star Trek, where Cisco goes back and he realizes, actually, I just looked up what the guy looks like. It was actually you the whole time, you know? Closed loop, man. Closed loop. And so I do, So, but it does suggest that arguably Phil knows more than anyone else knows. Because not only does he have Phil Coulson's mind, but he also has Phil Coulson's mind with perfect recall.
Oh, yeah.
And hyper processing.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, he was a fan of all this to begin with. Now he has that database in his head, too. So,
yeah, but it's the idea. It's the old Captain America thing about how he has peak human physicality, but he also has peak human mental ability. And you don't notice it because he was always a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start realizing, oh, you actually have photographic memory and, this perfect recall of every moment of your life forever, and everything that you ever learned, you now know. And you don't realize that until you get to, oh, wait, okay. I see how this is bringing you up to that heavier level, which is why I always felt that Clinton McIntyre, Protocide, that it wasn't that he had brain damage, it's that he wasn't used to being that smart.
Oh.
And because he used to be dumb and now he was smart, he knew that. And because he doesn't talk, so he must be dumb. It's like, no, he doesn't talk because all of a sudden he's seeing things he never thought of. And he has words he never knew he had before. So, bring back Protocide, dang it. Don't forget these lost super soldiers, people.
Hey, we got more time travel fun coming up. We got Falcon and Winter Soldier coming up. I mean, we know we're getting walkers. I mean, there could be a couple super soldiers.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's so many things that could bring into this. There's so many characters. It's okay, Tristan. Don't worry about it. Just pick it up and put it back. There's so many things they can bring into it. So many things they can do with it. And I do love that fact about it. I do love what they're building here. And what they decide to build is going to be interesting, because I do think it is going to lead into Loki and Wanda and, maybe less so Black Widow. That's the thing. It's like, I think when you talk about what's going to come out of Black Widow, I think Black Widow is going to be less directly tied. But I think that stuff like WandaVision and Loki are going to be butting up against us. They even said it's going to bump into the MCU.
Oh yeah, WandaVision and Doctor Strange. I think they're pretty much connected. Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if maybe, I don't know. Is this going to be around in October? Does this have enough episodes to go to October? That's the question. Are we going to get a Halloween episode? Could we meet Agatha Harkness, who they say will be in WandaVision?
I thought it was 13 or 16, but I mean, they can always take a break. I don't know if they're taking any breaks too or not.
Okay, and you can do a Halloween episode in the middle of July. That's no shame in that.
Yeah.
Although 13 episodes, it's one a week. Well, we're already 3 episodes in. So, might not get this to last all summer, but, and honestly, witches are evergreen. You could always bring in these characters. You could always bring in someone. You could bring in a Nathaniel Richards. You could bring in, wouldn't that be a great place to bring in a Nathaniel Richards? And just set up that idea that actually, Reed, as I say, Reed doesn't have to be in the Marvel Universe to be in the Marvel Universe. There can be lots of things that weren't the Avengers, that weren't a Howard Stark production of a Howard Stark script in a Howard Stark movie, you know. Howard Stark in The Avengers, starring starring Tony Stark, produced by Tony Stark, written by Tony Stark, you know.
No.
If you don't have that hype man of a Tony Stark, you know, I think it's entirely possible that the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, all these characters could have been in the background the whole time, and just no one talked about it. Because we think about it, you know, you got a Hulk running around the Marvel Universe for years at this point. And until the Avengers, it's like, you know, it's like tabloid reporting, you know?
Or, I mean, there's so much stuff that can happen. I mean, we're time traveling right now. Something could get changed. I mean, the multiverse is really coming in the next Doctor Strange movie. I mean...
Well, you know, there's an interesting theory that I came up with. What would you say if the introduction of the X-Men in the Marvel Universe is going to be in Black Panther 3 with the wedding of Storm and T'Challa?
Did you have that theory, or did you steal that from Lilith Hellfire?
I posted it recently. If Lilith said it first, then I will give all credit to her. But I don't recall her saying it. But just the idea that, no, the X-Men were always there.
Yeah.
And here's Storm. And you know what's going to be cool about that? Well, first off, if you have that wedding, first off, you bring in, oh, yeah, there's a whole other secret world you don't know about. And when you think about characters like Isaiah Bradley, who was known in the community, in his community, in the African American superhero community, but no one else did. It becomes this idea that just because it's not the Avengers doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah. And
when we have suddenly here are the X-Men, and you have Cyclops and Wolverine and Colossus, you know, on the bride's side, you know, along with all these people, and there's Isaiah Bradley, and there's freaking Luke Cage and Jessica Jones at the wedding, just in a cameo, you know, and suddenly you say, yeah, there's a whole world you're not paying attention to.
I mean, I can buy the X-Men, like, you know, working in secret and stuff, but it's just, I don't know if I buy that there's, you know, there's going to be at least some racists out there being, you know, trying to blame everything on those stinking muties, you know. Well,
except, you know, unless Charles Xavier is actually good at his job.
Oh,
there's nothing to see here, you know. That, you know, that if what, and that's the thing. It's like, and here's the thing, Phil. There are people railing about mutants right now on the internet. You will go there and you will look up ESP mind control conspiracies of the Illuminati lizard people. You will find it. You will see that, oh, yeah. And Charles Xavier, he's just one of the lizard people. So it's like, yeah, everyone knows. Like, so there are mutants, but what are the mutants? Are they simply tabloids? Is it just that those Hulk stories that Jack McGee is always peddling? You know? Or is there truth behind it? And that's the question. That's the idea.
Yeah, but it's like how I don't know how much of a conspiracy theory can mutants be. Because I mean, if X-Men are out there, you know, Magneto's out there, and he likes to be a fancy little showboat too. So you can't.
Well,
really
yeah, but again, if Shield and let's remember, you have Shield and Hydra working together up until Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So all these people working together to try and keep a lid on things. And that's the thing, and that's why you never had anything up until the Avengers. Up until, literally, I Am Iron Man. Because if you will recall, immediately there's a cover story that Phil pulls out. It's like, here's who you are, here's who this is what's going on. And then suddenly there was a loose cannon Shield and Hydra could not contain.
Tony Stark, yep.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. That's what changed in this universe. You know, Reed and Sue and Ben and Johnny, they can live their lives. You know, Ben's wearing his floppy hat and his raincoat, and he's on Yancey Street, and everyone says you don't speak ill of Ben Grimm. He's a guy. You know, you don't look at him. You don't speak ill of him. You know, and everybody respects Ben Grimm down on Yancey Street. So on Yancey Street, everybody knows about Ben Grimm. If you get outside of Yancey Street, who ever heard of the guy?
I love Tony Stark. A bodyguard. That's unbelievable. Who's going to buy that?
Yeah, well, you know, but that's but that's the idea, and that's how the MCU changes. But that immediately establishes this idea, and then again, we saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. prior to that, where we had all of the basically loose cannons that they could control, like Angar the Screamer, and some lady with long nails, you know, and Mr. Hyde. And all the Inhumans, who are all operating for years under the radar.
Oh my lord! I get here now. What are they? Are those Inhumans? No, there's something called mutants.
Yes. Well, but this is the idea. This is the idea that there is something more hidden that I think we're going to start to get those reveals of.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they can. Now, at last, the truth can be told. As they always love putting on the count. You remember those. It's just like, at last, the secret origin of
mutants.
Captain America of the 1950s.
Yeah.
Young Men's Comics, number 13. I don't know if that was the right number or not, but
oh my lord. That would be a great poster because the internet demanded it.
No, but I just think it would be great to have this idea that the X-Men were always there.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't have to all be the same X-Men, you know.
Oh, no.
You know, we can put in new X-Men. We can recast some of the X-Men. But we do know that Quicksilver's coming. That actor who played Quicksilver is going to be in WandaVision. Now, is that going to be a multiversal thing? You know, and then maybe it's this weird thing where it's like, oh, she brings the mutants into the universe because that's where her brother was, even though it's not her right brother.
Yeah.
But now the mutants are here, but they have to fit into the timeline. And, you know, because Fitz has got to hammer that dang time variance authority into place.
Oh, and that's how we get our connection to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. He's like, you know, you kind of broke the multiverse when you did that.
Yeah, well, you know,
you kind of cracked it.
Oh, Wanda Maximoff. She is the Barry Allen of Marvel Comics.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, that is Wanda. But yeah, although yeah. So when did Black Cat's powers become like a cybernetic thing?
I don't know if
is that like very new?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's very new because I think she lost her powers for a while and then she was just like kind of like, you know, like an acrobat and an athlete, and then all of a sudden, was it during Brand New Day? Maybe I think they might have said she had bad luck powers again, and I think everyone was like, where in the hell did she get her powers back? You know, what is this? So I think someone just came up with, oh yeah, now it's just, you know, some kind of tech. Yeah.
So now it's Mephisto levels and levels, because Mephisto can't have someone magically altering the timeline.
So
someone that close to Peter, because as you will recall,
altering the destiny of Spider-Man. Yes,
that's how freaking Wanda became Omega level, because you just have bad luck powers. And then what was it? Byrne or was it? I think it was Byrne, who actually went back in West Coast Avengers and said, oh, you realize all the things that have to happen for someone to have bad luck at that moment? And then said, you realize actually, you know, what you did was you changed history so that now this thing that I just saw 5 seconds ago that was solid now actually always had these flaws that it just exploded.
What is she like, alters probabilities or something?
Well, she alters... it was that originally, yeah, it's altering probabilities, but when you alter probabilities, there are certain levels of altering probabilities.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like you can bring a magnet into a casino where they have a metal ball bearing for some reason in the roulette thing. And you can do that gag. But the fact of the matter is that if you are actually going to predict what's going to happen, you have to create all of these previous things that happened before. You had to go back in time to make that happen. Sort of like, in Bogus Journey, when Bill and Ted say, "Oh man, we've got a time machine. We can just go back and make sure we put the keys here." So, I was the guy who stole my dad's keys. Gets weird when they say, "Oh, go back and and drop a garbage can here." That was just stupid. But in general, that's the idea. You had to be able to go back in time and alter reality as it existed. And so maybe that's why Black Cat lost her powers, or maybe why she got them back, but now had to get them back in a different way. Because if she got them back in this tech-based way, Mephisto could make sure she wouldn't get her organic powers back. And become another Omega level being, because that's the thing, is like, you think about like characters like Domino and all these people are Omega level mutants who are just sort of wandering through life. They're basically like, they're basically like Baby Yodas, where you just have the Force because you're a Yoda and you're a baby, and that's just what we do. We just force choke you out because the Force to Yoda is like a rock to a Horta. You just move through it freely. It is like walking through air. And so we'll see what happens with all of that. But I mean, the time travel in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and again, as we've said, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. been time traveling longer than the Avengers. So we could see some Kangs in here. I am certain we will see Loki before too long.
Oh, yeah. You know how we could see the whole team versus Loki? I know you're talking about like it being fits and stuff, but what if this entire team, by the end of the season, what if this configuration, this team becomes the Time Variance Authority?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we imagine that. I think a lot of us imagine that. Although, that was the idea. I was talking with someone else online the other day about it. That the characters and concepts are too good to just let end. But whether the character or the concepts will continue on together is the question. So we could have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that exist, and then a number of our agents move into a different field. It is interesting that Yo-Yo has lost her powers at the moment. But what is most interesting about it is that she hasn't lost her powers. Because if you watch, she can still see at super speed. And, I wonder if she'll become Golden Girl. Because theoretically, she could move, just because she can't move at super speed. If she can see at super speed and she can actually see things happening, she might be able to have higher reaction times. So she can't like do that super speed move, because speedsters are always the worst. But maybe she can utilize that hyper speed perception to do other things. Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, there's lots to go on there. You want to talk some DC for a minute?
Sure.
So 3 Jokers is coming out. And here's the thing. So the problem with the 3 Jokers concept, especially in its now non-canonical form, which I don't even know how you do. Because 3 Jokers is canonical. He sat in the chair, says, "Who is the Joker?" Says, "Which Joker do you mean?" And
I think that's their safety net. They're going to tell the story, and then if someone's like, "Well, that doesn't make any sense from what we've been reading," it's not in continuity. No.
But that's that's just so here's the problem with it. And maybe it's a problem they have to deal with. And it's what you might call a Moon Knight problem. Which is, as Batman has had more and more cosmic level adventures. you kind of have to justify why this Batman. And as I understood it, the whole pale man and the dark man were actually like just plants or like some kind of weird psychological warfare with Bruce and the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to make that a reality, where it was false, but it actually had a kernel of truth into it, and you want to take Bruce onto that next level, make him somebody a little bit more cosmic. Then you take the Joker and make him a bit more cosmic. If nothing else, in all of these metal universes, you're getting this idea that, the Batman is the access mundi of these cosmic universes, where because the Batman did something, now this whole universe is messed up. Batman got the Speed Force. Batman has a lantern ring, and now he's going to destroy everyone.
All right, you ready for me to take Batman out of the equation?
Sure.
Well, like you were saying, yeah, like Dark Knights, when is it? Heavy Metal came out. Number 1 came out this week, and then Young Justice 15 came out this week, and like more and more characters in DC are realizing that the universe has been like rebooted several times now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know in Doomsday Clock they were kind of saying, like every time the universe reboots, it's like Superman kind of sets the tone and the pace for the, it all starts with like Superman basically. What if every universe Superman is like the order that everything builds around, and Joker is the chaos everything builds around? No, Batman. It's Superman and Joker are like the two pillars of order, like order and chaos.
It's an interesting idea. One can certainly say. One can certainly explore it.
Well, make the Joker like a cosmic character. Be like he's so, I don't know, out of sync or something that like.
Yeah, well, you have to basically make the Joker.
In order to different versions of himself.
Yeah, in order to make 3 Jokers work, Joker has to be magic. And if you read the 80th anniversary edition of Joker, the magical Joker is a central thing. When you look at the story of the psychiatrist whose job it is to actually help victims of the Joker. And he's like, no, the Joker is a man. The Joker is not the monster under your bed. And then, no, I am the monster under your bed. And it's like, first off, aside from the fact that I don't want the Joker to be it, because, and this is just me, and that's the thing, I can deal with a fourth wall breaky, crazy character that is OP in certain situations. It's like a Squirrel Girl or a Gwenpool or a Deadpool or an ambush bug, or even a fifth dimensional imp like Mixoplix. I can deal with these concepts in the short term.
I mean, that story, I see what it was. I mean, I didn't take that as he was like fourth wall breaking. I took that as he was just very good at his job of breaking people and, building the legend that, just like Batman, Joker is very good at building the depth of being something more than human.
But I get the feeling that the implication of it is that he was more than human. Well, I don't get that.
Again, it's like the same thing Batman does. Half those criminals in Gotham think he's not human.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter, that's the thing. But that's the thing about it is, yes, you can put Joker onto that level. You could just say he's just that good. And obviously, I guess it would make a lot of sense to target the person who is helping your victims.
Mm-hmm.
Although then along those lines, it kind of makes Batman look like just a complete wanker.
Well, it makes everyone look like a wanker because it's like Joker always escapes. Joker always has like this body count, and it's
a
like
person who's not very intelligent. Anyway,
nobody. Nothing seems to stop the Joker ever.
Well, exactly, but that's the thing. It's like, so either you have to say Joker is better than Batman, in which case you have to ask, then what is Joker doing? And why won't Batman just shoot him? Well, or heck, have Tim Drake shoot him. You
I
know?
know. I mean, I know he's insane, but again, it's like how does the Joker not get the death penalty? He has so many bodies on, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I can only guess Gotham is not a death penalty state.
I know, but he's killed people all over the world. You don't think anyone would try to like expedite it, extradite him and be like, oh, hey, we're going to kill him.
Oh yeah. I'm guessing that there's got to be something crazy about Gotham, and for what it's worth, maybe that's why he almost never goes outside of Gotham.
That's why, and that's
honestly,
why,
when he went into that South American country, I was waiting for someone to say, "Oh, you are not in Gotham, Senor."
No.
I understand what you think is going to happen. That is not what is going to happen now. So,
well, that's the other thing between no one like being able to kill him and just I wonder if the three Jokers thing is going to play in this. I wonder if like maybe Joker has like some kind of power to like bend reality around him.
Well, that's the idea. So
some
I'm
kind of
guessing,
chaos magic, if you will.
Yeah. Well, the idea of you make him a fourth wall breaky character.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now that would be a great way to end it. Is you have the three Jokers, and you do have, yes, the Joker bends reality to his whim, and then you have Harley, who, of course, went through the same process now in some comics versions of it.
I mean,
and now also has that view outside of reality, and then you have that battle, and then she freaking kills the Joker with extreme prejudice. Says, no, you don't get to, because you aren't the boss of me.
Ooh.
And smacks him down, and then knocks him back to just being Cesar Romero Joker for a period. What you do with the Joker, what you do with this, what I object to, and I don't really object to it, I just feel like, do we really want to take Batman and the Joker into that level? Do we really want to say, okay, you're going to be a character who is got this crazy mystical side? Because that's the thing, I don't think you can do this to the Joker without doing it to Batman too.
Well, again, too, we don't know if that's what's going to be, though, too.
I mean, the only other way you work it out is if Joker is a fifth dimensional Mixoplexian imp. But then Batmite would kick his butt.
Oh my lord! Have you ever read Emperor Joker?
I have not read that version of that story. That's actually fun fact. That's the plot from the Batman Incredible Hulk tie-in. It's actually literally the plot from the Batman Incredible Hulk tie-in.
Oh, really?
Really, it is literally that the Shaper of Worlds comes to the Joker to help him like fix things about him for whatever reason. He needs the Joker to help him, and then he gives basically Joker, omnipotence. Now this is late 1970s Joker, so he's not as like, oh, I'll just kill Batman every day, So it's all basically just clowns and silliness, and but it's basically someone said, oh, that's a great story, let me steal that and do it now, but we'll do it grim and gritty. So that's Emperor Joker. Yeah, it's a stolen plot from a couple decades earlier, when Batman kicked the Hulk, because Kung Fu beats super strength, which in truth is true in comic books.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just like, it's like one of those absolute truths of comic books, is that Kung Fu beats any superpower.
I mean, there's an issue with the Hulk. I mean, that's basically what Captain America was doing to the Hulk. I mean, in the 90s. I mean,
well, there it's always judo. He always like throws the Hulk.
Oh yeah.
That's the whole Thanos versus the Hulk. Well, the Hulk's just a brawler. He's not a fighter. Which ignores the fact that the Hulk just spent the last 5 years in an arena battling the greatest warriors in the universe. So probably learned a thing or two. That's like one of those things that, like, it doesn't make sense if you actually think about it for 5 seconds. So we just have to say he used the freaking Power Stone and quit being a Thanos stan. Thanos stan is the worst stan of all.
But I mean, again, too, Banner's like multiple personalities. It's like, does he always have access to all those memories? Because like even in the movies, I mean, does Professor Hulk remember all those gladiatorial matches?
Yeah. Well, he remembered Valkyrie.
Yeah. Well,
and I love when Valkyrie says, "I think I liked either one or the other of you two better."
Yeah.
Which is your first clue that Professor Hulk isn't right. He isn't the Hulk that's meant to stay.
Well, yeah, remember the comics. I mean, yeah, they all thought Samson integrated all those personalities, and that wasn't the case.
I wonder if they're going to bring in Samson into that, you know? I do wonder.
Take a drink, people. Here we go.
Look, man, he's under contract. He is that man, I'm blinking on his name right now.
Ty Burrell.
What?
Ty Burrell.
Ty Burrell. He is under ABC contract. He is basically a contract player. You know, they say go on Modern Family, he goes on Modern Family. So go to the Incredible Hulk, he's over at the Incredible Hulk. Whoa. He goes where he's told, and he's happy to have a job.
Well, remember, we're getting a She-Hulk series eventually here, too.
I know. And if you don't bring in Ty Burrell into that, I'm going to be very mad at you all. You know, I know what they're worried about. I know what they're thinking, but you know, I think that they're going to work it out nicely. They may pull from the marriage plotline to get that blood transfusion, or maybe not. We'll see what they decide to do.
Or, I mean, once she becomes She-Hulk, I mean, if she's having trouble with, you know, a raging Hulk, you know, could Ty Burrell come in and just be like, oh yeah, who do you think helped Bruce, you know, create his, you know, merge him in the Hulk?
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. I want Ty Burrell back. He was a great Samson. Put him in a gym for a couple weeks, okay?
Green wig. Just put him in a green wig.
Well, green wig, yeah. And you know, he's not an out of shape man, you know.
Yeah.
And not for nothing. You watch that last season of Modern Family, you tell me he's not getting swole. You look at that, you tell me Ty Burrell is not getting swole. He is swollen up because, you know, they said, hey, Ty, can't tell you anything right now, but you know, might be a good week to go to the gym. Just saying. Maybe go to the gym a bit more. You know, tossing that out to you, Ty, just so you know, go to the gym.
No official.
Not saying why.
No official. Nothing official, but go pull a Chris Pratt. Go to the gym.
Yeah. Go lift pick up some heavy things, put them over there. You know, that was always Brendan Fraser's. Like, how do you keep it safe? So usually I pick up heavy things and I move them. And I pick up another everything and I move it back, you know.
Go to our Disney trainer. Just tell him you went on the Chris plan.
Yeah, good old Chris Pratt, man. They let him have cheeseburgers for Guardians 2, though, because it was part of the joke. Well, for Avengers. Well, actually, Guardians 2, they did a little bit too. But yeah, the idea that, you know, at a certain point, you're like, he wants to be Chris Pratt again. It's like, I'm a lovable oaf. It's great being a sex symbol, but
I'll come back for Guardians 3, but you're gonna let me keep the jacket on. Come on.
Yeah, I'll keep you know. No, I think he'll go in for Guardians 3 again, because he's although you know, it's gonna be like that thing with him and Fat Thor, you know. Especially if I think there's gonna be like a whole training montage with him and Fat Thor, you know. I think James Gunn is probably gonna do that in what does Guardians 3 come out, or does Thor 4 come out first?
Let me check, but I think it might be Thor 4, because I don't know if I don't know if we even got a date for Guardians yet.
Yeah, okay. So Takia said he likes Fat Thor, but he doesn't want that to be the defining quality of Thor. So they might just have, you know, Thor, you know, more bulky clothes for Hemsworth. You know, so we're not going to address it as much, but he's still going to have, you know, one eye and a beard.
Duh.
You know, but he's not going to be totally Fat Thor, but he's going to be, you know, we'll see what Takia wants to do with him. I know, but you know, Takia was never a guy who, you know, needed Thor to be, you know, all glistening, you know.
Yeah, I'm not.
Your Guardians 1 Chris Pratt, if you will.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh wait. Oh wait. Is Guardians 3 coming? I don't know. Well, I know Thor's coming 2022.
Man.
Fuck Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Well, you figure now. I mean, everything's been pushed.
I know everything's gotten moved back. Oh, what are you
that
gonna
might
do?
have been the original plan anyway for Thor. Might have been 2022. I can't remember, but I
don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's.
I mean, Black Widow got pushed back, which pushed Eternals back.
You know, all I'm saying is, charge me $40, okay? Just keep on schedule. Charge me $40. You know.
I mean, look at the brouhaha that went down when they took Trolls out of the theaters. Can you imagine if they told the theaters, "Oh yeah, we're not giving you Black Widow. We're just going to put it on demand." Oh my god.
Well, you know, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the real thing of it is, Disney's a real deep pocket.
Yeah. Oh, if you pay them off.
No. But if so, I go to see Black Widow because I have to.
Yeah.
You know, I have to see Black Widow, and I get COVID because there's not a mask requirement at AMC, and Disney can't make them have a mask requirement.
Although I think AMC just reversed that. I think they're saying, yeah, you got to wear a mask when you come in.
No, AMC said no, you don't.
At first they did. Now I think people.
Oh, they're going back on that because they got the blowback.
I think people were saying, yeah, hey, let's boycott AMC, and so they reversed and said, oh no, we were just kidding.
Yeah, although you know, but then again, it's this thing about First of AMC's almost bankrupt anyway.
Yeah.
AMC was living on freaking, razor thin margins. Disney's not living on razor thin margins.
Yeah.
But if you are, if you willfully disregarded public safety to have this film out, it's problematic,
Mm-hmm.
So I can see Disney's reluctance. I can see Warner's reluctance to release anything. And like the smaller studios, if every theater has half capacity, they're fine. Because if you have half capacity, you're probably maintaining proper social distancing.
Oh, yeah.
Probably things aren't going to go through. And then it's up to AMC to have that cleansing regime in place,
Oh, yeah. Between every movie, you just got to go down and squirt down every seat. Yeah.
Yeah, which unfortunately for those nice velvet reclining seats, that's not as viable of a concept. It's like, man, we had the old plastic, or you just completely flip over seats. Those you could wipe down in a snap. But nowadays, no, you got nothing. It's bad. So yeah, I mean, but that's why I say, man, charge me $40.
I know, but those theaters are going to fight for those tooth or nail, because it's not like other movies where it's like, oh yeah, we'll make money off that movie for a weekend or two. I mean, you get a Marvel movie, I mean, you're making money for what, at least a month or two?
Oh yeah.
I mean, if they fight for any movie, they're going to be fighting for them Disney movies.
They have the stronger stands, but it's because of those stands.
Money too.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Is like because of those fans, or those stands, if you will. It is a problem for Disney, because here's the thing. You might be, oh man, Mary Marvel Marching Society forever. I will never sue Disney that I died because I went to that film. But my wife, she's gonna sue the heck out of them. Nope. You knew he was mentally ill. You knew his problems, and you willfully put that movie out there in a dangerous situation. So and she'll say, he said on the podcast on June 19th, 2020, just sell it to him for $40, $50. He'll pay it. He'll watch that at home in safety with his family,
Well, again, I mean, they're damned either way, because it's like if they do, if they release it, if someone gets COVID, there might be a lawsuit. But two, if you don't release it and like theaters start going under, people are going to be like, oh, Disney hates small businesses. They're like the Walmart. They just crushing these businesses and stuff.
I don't think anyone's that attached to the theaters.
I don't know, man. There's people.
Here's the thing: the theaters still exist. So here's the thing: if AMC goes bankrupt tomorrow, there's still a big building with lots of theaters and projection equipment that you can now buy on the cheap.
Oh yeah.
So if you wanted to buy a 18 a Cineplex, a 13 theater Cineplex and make it all independent films, you could actually do that. And just have now we're gonna show a 35 millimeter print of Gone with the Wind and Song of the South because we found one and we're gonna show it here.
Do you think you could make money with an 18 screen multiplex if you just played like all those MCU movies all the time?
Oh, I'm certain you could. I'm certain you could put that on a loop.
Oh yeah,
and people would just come in.
Screen one's playing Iron Man 1 all day. Screen 2's playing.
Oh no! I think you just go like from. Heck, I think I honestly think you could have a 24-hour theater where you would come in, pay $5, stay as long as you like. You can't do it in a place with a lot of homeless people, but stay as long as you like, and people come in, and it's just gonna be a constant loop of every Marvel film.
Well, $5 you come in, it's like what, like a 2 popcorn minimum or something, something.
Well, something. Well, but even still, they sell the popcorn,
Yeah.
That's why you can't do this in a place with a large homeless population, and you have to you don't want someone just going in there because that's where you can sleep.
Yeah.
But the idea that you could come in, or you just don't run it 24 hours, but from like 8 to 8, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every night, or maybe noon to midnight every day for 12 hours. You're gonna run all of the Marvel films on a loop, and people can just come in, they can sit, they can watch them, they can get up and leave. Yeah, I think that's a money making possibility.
I mean, a Disney theater. I mean, if you want more variety, play all the Marvel movies, play the Star Wars movies. I mean, you could.
Well, I mean, heck, Disney. I mean, to make a point, Disney could buy out all of these distressed properties and make them all Disney theaters, where suddenly you can have Disney Plus. But why don't you go down to your local Disney Cineplex, where we're going to have a double feature of the Medford College series, followed by The Treasure of Blackbeard and Treasure Island. And then for you Marvel heads, we're going to have Black Widow and then also The First Avenger as a double feature.
And hey, you could watch Black Widow at home, but if you go to the theater, you get an extra 15-minute bonus feature.
Yeah, why? Well, hey, give us some Peggy Carter shorts.
Oh!
Could you imagine if every Marvel film started with a 15-minute short of some hero, some villain, some story that's going to come back later?
Oh, yeah, introduce characters that way? Yeah.
Heck, a Doctor Doom short, Oh, you even just started with this family. Oh man, you know what you do? You have that family. That family from freaking Justice League, but they're actually in Latveria. And now and Doctor Doom shows up and kills all the bugs.
I mean, Disney, you could do that now in front of every MCU movie. Put like a 15-minute She-Hulk or Moon Knight short, and then it's like after the 15 minutes, be like check out Moon Knight's series on Disney Plus 2021 or whatever. Yeah,
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll get to that. Remember the Pixar's always used to have a short.
Oh yeah.
And they did a thing for a little while. It was started with, I think Roger Rabbit maybe had a short, or maybe shortly after Roger Rabbit, they started putting in shorts in a lot of family films. A little cartoon short at the start, and then Pixar really took that to the next level with a lot of their films. And I mean, there's lots of things out there, Philip. There's lots of things Disney can do in this new COVID landscape. Yes. What's that show I'm going to be on tomorrow, Phil?
Oh, Comic Capers.
Comic Capers, where we're going to reveal the secret origins of Battlestar and D-Man.
And U.S. Agent.
Yeah. Less so.
That guy.
He is like the least interesting character in that story. I'm going to say that right now.
I know, but he's going to be in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so they say. And I still say they're going to be merging him and D-Man. Because, I don't know, he looks like a hobo. That guy they got to play him, I know it's like I know it's Ego's son, but it's the second computer who wore tennis shoes, and yeah, they're having him be John Walker, but he's got the big long. He's got a homeless guy beard. He took that idea that you just grow out your hair until they cast you in something, and then you trim it to whatever they need. It's like, were they really going to cast you as a hobo in this? I mean, did you have to be that prepared to be a hobo for this movie? I mean, is there a big market for hobos?
Hey man, hairs seem to be important in Hollywood. Remember when Henry Cavill was in Justice League? Man, they had to digitally take that mustache down.
Why?
Because he was doing another movie. Was it Mission Impossible or something?
No, I mean, but why can't Superman just have a mustache?
Branding.
Yeah, and like, I don't know.
Where'd he made the toys, Charlie Esser? There's no mustache on it.
You know what I love about Spider Cop in the Spider Universe is that he has the mustache outside of his costume.
That's what
doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's what I said. The only thing that's gonna make that Snyder cut worthwhile is if they leave the mustache in this time.
That's gonna be bad.
I know, 6 hours.
But people are so excited to see Darkseid. They're like, but it's gonna be Darkseid. It's like, okay. I mean, yeah, you know,
6 hours.
I know. Darkseid's abs. We get to see them. If you
Omega Beams gave me abs.
Yeah, Omega Beams. Although fun, interesting point in that whole thing we're going to be talking about tomorrow is where we get to see Otto's gang in like their first group with the Shroud.
The night shift, yeah,
and an interesting point about Dance Macabre and the moral implications of putting someone under mind control. And realizing, man, Wonder Woman does that every issue. They're all supervillains, I tells ya. Oh boy! But anyway, okay, so that's that. Anything else you want to? We'll just save it all for Super Connectivity or for Capes and Lunatics tomorrow.
Yeah,
we got 2 shows to shoot tomorrow, Phil. So
that's right.
I may have 3 because we might do our Enough Said tomorrow too.
Ooh, I got to
see what Maz is doing, man. You know, man, he is a man with lots of stuff to do. So okay, so Philip. So actually, before we get to that, you know, Philip, sometimes I'm listening to these podcasts as I do, and my sound quality is just awful. You know, my headphones are burned out. I'm trying to play it on an old Bluetooth speaker that's been, you know, played everything you know is wrong too many times, and I was like, welcome to Super Connectivity. And you know, I worry about these things, and I realize, you know, I could probably solve all that by just looking up some of the fine products of our sponsor, Tweaked Audio, who makes phenomenal audio equipment for your listening enjoyment. And I highly recommend everyone go to Tweaked Audio, look at just look at these things, look at their specs. They're wonderful. Listen to your podcasts on these things. And if that's not what you want to do, if you just say, well, you know, I'm happy with my bad, scratchy,
subpar
blown out speaker headsets, well, you know, maybe you want a more intellectual pursuit, to which I'm going to recommend, you know, going to huntakiller.com and signing up for that service, and you know, getting clues and red herrings and finding who the killer is, because you got to hunt him, because it's hunt a killer. That's their premise, and that's what you do. And I think you'll find that mentally stimulating. You might have fun. But whatever you do, first thing you always got to do is just go down in our show notes. Find that little Amazon link we got there. Got a little Amazon link, and you click on that. That's going to take you over to Amazon. We were going anyway because we're going to buy a bunch of stuff. That's where you buy things on the internet. Go to Amazon, buy stuff after clicking that link, and cost you nothing. Saves the entire premise of podcastery as it exists, And if you're interested in podcastery as it exists, why don't you pick up the book, Pod Life, the book, written by the men and women of the Southgate Media Group Network, who have dedicated their lives to this crazy world we call podcasting, and talked about what podcasting meant to them. If you want to laugh and cry and kiss $6 goodbye, or however much the book costs, that's from Hardware Wars. So I'm sorry, I'm very old. So that line, to a certain group of people, that means a lot. To most people, probably less so. But go down to the link in the description, pick up Pod Life the book, read Pod Life the book, and be happy. And if you don't want to do any of that, or even if you do, why don't you reach out to us? And Philip, how can people reach out to you?
I can always get a hold of me. Well, I'm on Twitter at NightwingPDP. But the simplest way is just to get a hold of the show. I can email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. And the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. So send your thoughts on all of this. Anything you want to hear us discuss.
And if you do call that number and you would like to be played on the air, just say at the end, hey, you can play this on the air. I don't care. And then we will, because we love to put you in the moment of the podcast. So please do that. We'd love it. In the meantime, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter, because you know what I do nowadays? I stay up all the way to 10 p.m. From 10 p.m. until 11 p.m. in the evening, local time. And I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's just that good. At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing.
Thank you, Maz. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another wonderful, long episode of Super Connectivity. Please take a few moments next week, click on that link, and why don't you just super connect with us once again. Good night.
Good night.
Do the Batusi. Tell no one the secret location of the Bat Cave.
Oh.
All right, so 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. tomorrow.